Hi there. Today I am going to follow up to the last video I created and look at actually forming an LLC in the state of Michigan. If you didn't see the last video, in that video I went through the process of creating an EIN. And remember, the goal here is to take my business venture here with my wife, hit subscribe, and we want to be able to accept PayPal payments with it. And we were sort of blocked from doing that by the need to have an employer identification number. We've got that now, but I also, before we do this, I want to make sure to incorporate, because the EIN assistant here is sort of predicated on the idea that we actually form a business entity, and we're doing that in parallel. So without further ado, I'm going to look at how to create a corporation in Michigan, limited liability. So the first thing I know from doing this before that you need to do is check the state's database of names. You gotta love these government websites. And make sure that nobody has your name. So I'm gonna go here and say hit subscribe, and I don't care. Let's search for all types of businesses because we want to know about conflicts. No conflict found, so we are golden. That means the next thing I need to do is licenses. Let's try this instead. Start an LLC. So if you'll recall, this is not great. Let's try using Google. So let's try Michigan start an LLC, and you get a bunch of ads. We want to do it for you, but that's not what I want here. If you recall, I had decided on Michigan because we own property here. And Michigan is a better state than Illinois, where I also own property. So we're going to do it there, as opposed to some people will say do it in Delaware or do it in Wyoming. There are certain tax advantages and doing business advantages to doing it in those states. For instance, Delaware has this chancery thing, and I don't know a ton about it, but it's very business favorable and friendly, and I think a lot of corps get their start there. And then there's also 49 plus state fees. Wyoming and Nevada, they have these things where you don't have to disclose who you are as a partner. So I maybe if you're doing something shady, that helps. Plus, some of them are considered tax havens where you pay no corporate taxes. Let's see. I am not going to worry about any of that, though, because just none of that seems worth the trouble of needing a registered agent, which means you have to have somebody actually in that state that can like do business things for you, or travel to that state. So I don't really want to go to any of those places necessarily. At least here in Michigan, I can receive mail. So you need to follow the naming guidelines. Yes. We did a domain search. Is the URL available? Yes, we know that because we already claimed it. Choose a registered agent. That will be me, I think. The registered agent must be a so this is what I was just talking about. Must be a resident of Michigan or a corporation authorized to transact business in Michigan. Well, owning property makes me a resident, so I'm going to do that. You will need to file the articles of incorporation with the state of Michigan. So Michigan has only a $50 fee, and here's the thing that I need to fill out, apparently. I wonder if... So I'm going to Google and say articles of organization in Michigan and see if I can like e-file this. Let's see. Limited liability company changes, corporations. File online. I like the sound of that. This is probably taxes. File your annual report or annual statement. Okay. Closer than taxes, but still not what we want. Let's see here. So if I look at this document, articles of organization, there's probably no way around this because I suspect... So I can fill it out here. I suspect that what I'm going to need to do is print this out and sign it. The name of the registered agent at the registered office is... purpose of, interesting. So all of this looks sort of boilerplate. Optional expedited service. Same day. 2 hour, 1 hour. My goodness. Preparer's name, Article 5. Registered agent. This is kind of interesting. There's nowhere on here where it asks about the partners. So we do the name, which I can fill in here, the purpose, the duration, which we only specify if it's perpetual or other than perpetual, the name of the registered agent, the street address, the mailing address, and insert any desired provisional authorized signed signature of organizers. So I guess all we really need to do is my wife and I both have to write our names on here, and I guess I fill this out as the preparer. The question that comes to mind is Michigan registered agent. Yikes. Can it be me? And all these ads come up. Resident agent? Wait, registered or resident? Oh, resident agent. My apologies. Resident agent. All the ads again. Registered agent. The resident agent and registered office must be included. A resident agent is someone who is appointed by the company to receive any documents, notices, or demands served upon the company. The resident agent must be a Michigan resident, a Michigan corporation, a foreign corporation with a certificate of authority to transact business in Michigan, a Michigan LLC, or a foreign limited liability. Okay, so I am good here. Resident agent must be a Michigan resident. So it looks like maybe if you're an outsider, you can't easily. You would need to hire a resident agent. But given that I have a Michigan mailing address, that tells me what I need to know. So I can receive any documents, notices, or demands. I can certainly do that at this address that I'm registered to. So it looks to me like I'm going to wrap here because this is as far as I need to go. I need to print this thing out and fill it out and then mail it somewhere. Information and instructions, I am guessing. Submit one original of this document. Upon filing, the document will be added to the records of corporations. Since this document will be maintained on an electronic format, it is important that the filing be legible. Okay. I'm just looking for some instructions on where to send it. So we need to include liability. So we need to include a check. Submit in person if I go to Okemos. I wonder where that is. Pardon this aside, but it actually might be on the way. I'm going from where I am to Ann Arbor today, so Lansing, that does not look like it's going to be on the way from Ann Arbor. I will be heading along 94 here, so this would be quite a diversion. Yeah, it's right by the Capitol. I guess that makes sense. I did some client work once in the capital of Michigan at Lansing. So what I'm going to have to do is mail this to Lansing. It's not super important to me to have it done in that timely a fashion. So yeah, I'm going to fill this out. I'm going to print it out. And then I'm going to drop it in the mail. I don't know that you need to see this. I will follow up with videos about anything else that happens here, as they may pertain to what's going on. But between this video and the last one, that's kind of it. Like at some point I will get, if my Illinois experience is a good basis for this anyway, I'll get, some official papers from the state of Michigan in a few weeks saying, you're now a company, have at it. And that's really it. Then you're in business. So don't let all of the I guess, uncertainty and weirdness out there fool you, and you don't really even need to hire a lawyer. I mean, it can never help. There's a lot of peace of mind there, but really, it's just kind of a matter of slogging through some of this stuff and looking it up. And I've at least done this once before, so I know that it's not maybe as scary as it seems. And hopefully, this video is a help for you. Really, you can do all the stuff you need to do to incorporate a business, in an afternoon if you put your mind to it. There are certain decisions to make. I've walked you through my rationale of why I've made mine. So hopefully that's a help too. Stay tuned for anything else that comes up in this process. I'll probably do a recap either way once we're all set. So look for a little bit more in this series anyway. And so until next time.